Preparation model paper 34 for ASRB plant pathology. I'm Manoj Shankar Reddy, PhD plant pathology. First one is uh, fill in the blanks in continuation to the previously fill in the blanks. Grassy shoot of sugarcane is transmitted by, they're asking just a vector, okay? So grassy shoot of sugarcane is generally transmitted by leaf hoppers. Long distance moving spore of rust. Generally, while studying this wheat stem rust, we know there are 5 kinds of spores are there, right? Pycniospore, Caesiospore, Iridospore, Teliospore, and Bestiospores. So among all the spores, Iridospore is generally considered as a long distance spore or long moving spore, where it is being reported in various kinds of literature that can travel around 3000 kilometers, right? More than that also in couple of literature, one of my professor used to tell it can travel up to 40,000 kilometers, but I don't know whether it's right or not, but it is mentioned in various literature that the pseudospores or the spores of this stem rust can travel around 3000 kilometers, because if you see this Nilgiri hills to Himalaya around it will distance around 2700 to 3000 kilometers close to, okay? So the long distance spore of rust is the iridospore, a vegetative spore produced by fusarium. We know the fusarium pathogen is a kind of pathogen that can produce 3 kinds of spores, right? So microconidia, which contains, the conidia contains 0 septations or sometimes 1 septations. So macroconidia, the kind of conidia where it contains 3 to 5 septations. So sometimes it will be like half crescent shaped or half moon shaped. We can also call it a sickle shaped conidia, right? So, and one more thing, it produces chlamydospore. So microconidia and macroconidia are like, it can spread through air and all those things, where this chlamydospore survive during unfavorable time in the vegetative form. So they're asking a vegetative spore produced by fusarium. So the vegetative spore produced by fusarium is a chlamydospore. The series of events involved in disease development, including the stages of pathogen, is known as, generally the series of events that takes place during the disease development is considered as a disease cycle, or we can also call it as pathogenesis. So the disease cycle or pathogenesis and all those things. So citrus tristiza virus belonging to the family, they are asking citrus tristiza virus belonging to the family Clostroviridae. Clostroviridae. In clastrovirus, the term clastro means a thread-like structure. Generally, it called thread-like structure. If you see citrus tristiza virus, also it look like a thread-like structure, and it is also the longest virus. And one more is Stromatous spotted virus, 100 nanometers close to, and this is also some kind of thread-like structure. This is also considered to be as the longest. The seventh one, what is the ideal temperature for virulence of most of the plant pathogenic viruses? They are asking, not fungi and bacteria. So generally virus is more favored by low temperatures like 15 to 20 or maybe 10 to 20, like that. The temperatures were more ideal, but here 15 to 20 you guys can remember. So the word fungicide is actually derived from the term fungicide is actually derived from Latin word, which means fungal killer. Side means killer, fungicide means fungal killer, okay? It is actually derived from Latin word, and it was wrongly mentioned in my book as a Greek. Please, if someone having that book, please change this option to Latin. I was mentioned Greek, but it is supposed to be the Latin word. Didymella ravi produces the fruiting bodies. So Didymella generally produces the fruiting body, Pycnidia, okay? So the next one is iprobenphos, the trade name is Ketagen. Edifenphos, the trade name is Hinosan, or the fungicides are especially used against rice blast disease. One more fungicide was there, that is tricyclazole. Tricyclazole, the trade names that are selling outside with like beam, bin, blastin. Yes, these are all the various kinds of trade names that where this tricyclazole are telling selling outside. So this tricyclazole, if the option tricyclazole was not there, then you guys can go with iprobenphos, the trade name is Ketagen. Edipenphos, the trade name is Hinosan. Tricyclazole, edifenphos, or iprobenphos, all are especially recommended for rice blast disease, which is caused by Pyricularia varizae or Magnoporthe grigia. Magnoporthe is a teleomorphic stage, okay? The next one is Juchini yellow mosaic virus is transmitted by, in the recent time this Juchini yellow mosaic virus getting more popularity because of the severity, I think. So this Juchini yellow mosaic virus is generally transmitted by aphids. We know very well majority of the plant viral diseases are transmitted by aphids and leafhoppers alone. Around 60 to 70% of the overall transmission of plant viruses is mediated by these aphids and leafhoppers alone. So kernel bunt of wheat was first reported by, so it's a very important. Kernel bunt of wheat was caused by Neovacia indica or Tilicia indica, was first reported in India by Mitra in 1921. So why it is called kernel bunt? Because the disease was first appeared in Karnal Agriculture Research Station. In Karnal there is an agriculture research station where this Mitra was working, and he is the first person who identified this disease, the kernel bunt of wheat. So that's why it is named as kernel bunt. So Mitra 1931. So the kernel bunt infected fields produces some kind of fishy odor or some kind of bad smell due to the presence of trimethylamine. So in the there are two kinds of acids where it can produce foul smells that might be studied in plant pathology. The first thing is kernel bunt of wheat. So the infected plants produces foul smell due to the production of trimethylamine. So due to production of trimethylamine only, the infected plants produces this trimethylamine. And there is one more disease is called citrate of sugarcane due to methyl esterate, trimethyl esterate, right? So the citrate of sugarcane, methyl esterate, I think. Ethylene methylene esterate or some kind of thing will be there. Ethyl methyl esterate, I'm not sure, probably it is supposed to be but this kernel bunt of wheat is definitely trimethylamine. And one more thing, that is the citrate of sugarcane, which is caused by Ceratocystis paradoxa, which produces ethyl methylene esterate, some kind of thing will be there. Please refer. I think the same thing was there in the next model number 35 or maybe in 36 we are going to publish. There is nothing to worry about it. But these two diseases, but remember this kernel bunt of wheat in India was first reported by Mitra et al in 1931, and which is caused by Neovacia indica or Tilicia indica. But while this disease was discovered, this Mitra called this disease is caused by Tilicia indica. Later this Tilicia was the name changed to Neovacia by B.B. Munkur. So this B.B. Munkur changed name to Neovacia indica, and then later what happened, after that there was a lot of controversy, and the scientists keep the both names, Tilicia indica and Neovacia indica. If you see the literature, the both names will appear. Whatever it is, both are right. But according to the options given in the exam, we must go through the by seeing the question, and we must go through the answers. Okay. The next one is Mahali disease of areca nut is caused by. So Mahali disease of areca nut is also known as, generally, so also known as Coliroga disease. So it is also known as Coliroga disease or Mahali disease. The bean rust pathogen. So there are some kind of rust like bean rust, flax rust, linseed rust, various kinds of that. They're asking just bean rust is caused by. Bean rust is caused by Euromyces appendiculatus. Euromyces appendiculatus. The bean rust is caused by Euromyces appendiculatus. So the next one is flagellar type in oomycetes. So oomycota fungi, the flagellar type is one of the important and feature. It will produce biflagellate zoospores with anterior tinsel and posterior whiplash type. I repeat, the types of flagella also we have mentioned in detail about. If possible, I will just paste the link to that, reverted to that flagella types. You may see there in detail about the how many kinds of flagella that fungi can produce and all those things. So here this oomycota produces anterior tinsel. Tinsel means with hair, which means, and the next one is posterior whiplash type. So density gradient centrifugation was actually developed by a scientist called Bracke in 1951. So this is also repeatedly asked question, and I've gone through this question maybe one or two times in various entrance exams, I think so. So the next one is botulism. Or botulism is a kind of poison that is produced by the fungus. So it is also important. Clostridium species, and there is a genus Clostridium, species called Clostridium botulinum, which produces a poison called botulism. I think in the this was a little bit outbreak in Russia due to a couple of Russian soldiers had died because of this Clostridium botulism phenomenon by producing the production of various kinds of toxins. The people who ate the grains are the grains which are prepared for bread purpose. Some kind of Russian soldiers are died. I have studied this somewhere else, but I couldn't able to recall it now. Anyway, this botulism is caused by the fungus Clostridium botulinum. So cyst forming nematode. So cyst forming nematode, there is a species called Heterodera. Heterodera is a cyst forming nematode. One more is called root knot nematode, also a cyst forming nematode only. So chemical name of carborundum powder. So the chemical name are generally we can call as chemical name only they will ask. Chemical name in carborundum powder is called silicon carbide. So the chemical name of carborundum powder is silicon carbide, which was especially used in local lesion assay. The next one is in plains of India, which wheat rust occurs first. Generally in India, yellow rust occurs first, especially in Punjab or some parts of Jammu Kashmir and the coldest parts of the northwest, especially. Okay, so in India, first occurred rust is yellow rust. Solar heat treatment for the control of wheat loose mud was given by, this is a very important question which was repeatedly asked question, right? The solar treatment for the control of wheat loose mud was given by Luthra and Sutter. Genome of virus, positive single stranded RNA, positive single stranded RNA is the genome. Pasteurization temperature for milk, it's a very important, 62.8 degrees Celsius is the pasteurization temperature for milk. If they are giving only 62 degrees centigrade, you can also go with, see, based on the options we must go. Sometimes we may get the exact answer, but it is close to the answer. Such kind we must aware of the question, and as well as the severity and intensity of the options given. Okay, so generally the pasteurization temperature for milk is 62.8. The first systemic fungicide was discovered by, I repeat, systemic fungicide they are asking, very important. It was first discovered by Van Schemling and Marshall Kulka in 1966. So Van Schemling and Marshall Kulka was the first to discover the systemic fungicide, and the first systemic fungicide was discovered by Van Schemling and Marshall Kulka. The discovered fungicides are carboxin and oxycarboxin. So we generally call it as oxanthin group of fungicide, right? So there are two important fungicide comes under this oxanthin group, carboxin and oxycarboxin. So the trade name of carboxin is Vitavax or Vitavax. Plantvax is the trade name for oxycarboxin. So oxycarboxin generally recommended for rust diseases, whereas carboxin generally recommended for smut diseases, only for seed treatment, especially recommended for seed treatment. If you want, you can also go for foliar spray, but it is not that much effective, and it is generally suggested that to go with seed treatment. Okay. So the apple scab fungus perpetuates through. So generally apple that survives in like a perithecia, okay, in the fallen leaves. So yellow ear rot of wheat or wheat ear cockle is caused by a nematode called Anguna tritici in association with Corynebacterium tritici. I repeat, yellow ear rot or wheat ear cockle disease or wheat seed gall nematode. So all are same, Anguna tritici or Corynebacterium tritici or Rathai tritici. Actually this bacterial disease association with a nematode disease. Okay. So yellow ear rot or yellow ear cockle associated with a nematode called wheat seed gall nematode, that is Anguna tritici. This yellow ear rot or wheat ear cockle is caused by a bacterium, Corynebacterium tritici. Now it is called Rathai tritici. And the next one is this one, 27. The sexual spores of rice bacane disease. So generally rice gibberella produces sexual spore is ascospore. Okay, right? Ascospore. And lichens are association between, generally these lichens are association between fungi and algae. So fungi and algae, association between fungi and algae. Okay, so gelatin plate technique was given by Robert Koch. Robert Koch is considered as gelatin plate technique was given by Robert Koch, and is also the man who invented many kinds of laboratory things. That's why it's called as father of laboratory techniques. So for the techniques he is considered father because he invented many things, gelatin plate technique and Koch postulates and various other kinds of things, and also some plating techniques like pour plate or split plate, something that also he was discovered by Robert Koch only. So since he was discovered many kinds of this laboratory kinds of stuff, he is considered as a father of the laboratory techniques as well. So gelatin plate technique was given by generally Robert Koch. Plant diseases is considered as Bible of plant pathology in India. So just a minute, plant diseases is a book name. Okay, so plant disease is a book name which was written by R.S. Singh. Okay, this book is generally considered as a Bible of plant pathology in India, which was written by, they're asking, as I told you, R.S. Singh. So now it's the 10th edition is running out, I think so. This R.S. Singh is generally considered as a lighthouse of plant pathology also. So generally this plant diseases which was written by R.S. Singh is considered as Bible of plant pathology. They're asking written by R.S. Singh. Okay. The next one is sterile threads at the base of the perithecium in an upward direction to asci. So generally, if you see this perithecium, it contains various kinds of structures like paraphysis, periphysis, pseudoparaphysis, like the kind of things. You see, just remember. So regarding this types of perithecium based on this sterile heads and the direction, we have already done the video and it was posted in YouTube itself. I think it was in the section of uh, mycology section. It might be there in the mycology section, or else please wait for us to publish in the mycology section. Now we are running up with mycology, so we'll definitely do there in detail about it. Anyway, I will tell you here. The perithecium means it is some kind of pot-like structure. So this perithecium upward direction between asci. So imagine this is asci. So the sterile hairs are upward direction. So generally paraphysis produces this kind of threads which are actually rises in the upward direction. So the answer is paraphysis. Also, first miraculous antibiotic drug penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. I repeat, it's not 1929. He discovered in 1928. The paper was published in the British Journal in 1929. That's why many people are quoting it is 1929. No, it's not 1929. It's 1928 only, because he discovered in 1928, but the paper appears in the British Journal in 1929. So okay, so don't quote that the 1929 published paper. It's a 1928. It's a very clearly described in the various kinds of bibliographical journals that was published by this Alexander Fleming itself. It was originally discovered in 1928. So this penicillin was isolated from a fungus called Penicillium notatum. So this penicillin is generally considered as a miraculous drug, and it is the world's first drug to be discovered. First antibiotic to be discovered by Alexander Fleming. For that he got Nobel Prize in 1945 along with Harvard and Florey. So they too got for mass multiplication. Alexander Fleming got for the discovery of this antibiotic that is a penicillin. So it is actually isolated from a fungi called Penicillium notatum. Now this penicillin is isolated from Penicillium chrysogenum. So because this Penicillium chrysogenum can produce 100 times more yield than this Penicillium notatum, now that's why industries are following or using this Penicillium chrysogenum instead of Penicillium notatum. The next one is what is the first plant bacterial disease to be reported and reported by? The first plant bacterial disease was reported by fire blight of apple. FB, fire blight of apple was the first plant bacterial disease to be discovered and reported by T.J. Burrill. The first plant bacterial disease was caused by fire blight. Is fire blight of apple, and we can also say pear also. Okay. So reported by T.J. Burrill in 1882, because he have idea in 1878, but the original proof was discovered in 1882, so it is 1882. And in G.N. Agrios book also it is mentioned that 1878, but I can't say the Agrios book is wrong, because even my alphabet starts with G.N. Agrios book. I can't say that the book is wrong, but I have gone through the article that was published by T.J. Burrill itself. Once after finding the final proof, he have mentioned that I have a new idea. I don't know whether it's true or not. In 1878, he told that I have a new idea that if I am right, the plant disease can be caused by bacteria, but there is no proof. Okay. In 1882 only, he came with the proof that the plant disease are caused by pathogenic bacteria, and he reported the first plant bacterial disease, that is fire blight of pear and apple, which is caused by Irvinia amylovora in 1882. T.J. Burrill. Okay, that's why he's considered a founder of plant bacteriology, because he's the one who discovered the first plant bacterial disease, right? So that's why he's considered as a founder of plant bacteriology. So in 1882, answer. Okay, if I'm wrong, please let me know also with the proof. Okay, I believe it's 1882. And what is the reverse transcription? Not belief, that's true. Okay. What is the reverse transcription? So what is the reverse transcription? Oh, they're asking what is the, just like a definition. So conversion of RNA into DNA. So generally DNA converted into RNA is called transcription. Reverse transcription means DNA to RNA. Generally DNA to RNA is called transcription. If it happens reverse, RNA to again DNA is formed, that is called a reverse transcription. That's it. So formation or process of conversion of RNA to DNA is known as a reverse transcription. Destructive Insect Pest Act, that is DIPA Act, was promulgated in the year 1914. So this act was first passed in America as a federal quarantine act in 1912. The same act in India was adopted with the name of DIPA, Destructive Insect and Pest Act, which was promulgated in India 1914. 1914, it's a very very important one. It is repeatedly asked question as well. In sexual reproduction of a bacteria, phase mediated, I repeat, bacteriophages, phase mediated gene transfer can be observed in. So the phenomenon they're asking, transduction, which was first discovered in the organism Salmonella, discovered by Lederberg and Zinder in 1952. So there are three things will be there in bacterial recombination: conjugation, transformation, transduction. So in conjugation, CTT equal to EPS, conjugation Escherichia coli, transformation pneumonia, transduction Salmonella, along with the scientist name. So conjugation was discovered by Lederberg and Tatum 1946. Transformation was discovered by Griffith 1928. Transduction was discovered by Lederberg and in 1952. Like that. Just go through this bacteriology section. We have mentioned in detail about this stuff. The answer is transduction. Next one is sporangia and germination produces a vesicle. I repeat, sporangia and germination produces vesicle is the characteristic feature of Pythium. If we see the life cycle of Pythium on the sporangia, again it will produce some bulgular globe-like structure that is called a vesicle. All the protoplasmic material which are present in the plasmid starts to move to this vesicle, where compartmentization or juice pore formation will takes place. So that's why in the videos that we have already published in introduction to plant pathology, also I have mentioned that the special feature of this Pythium is formation of vesicle above the sporangia. In the vesicle only the juice pore formation takes place. So the answer is sporangial germination produces a vesicle is the characteristic feature of Pythium. Ufra disease of rice is caused by Ditylingus angustus. Okay, it is a nematode. Okay, flagella all over the body. They are asking peritracheous flagella is produced by. So such kind indirectly they may ask. So flagella all over the body or flagella peritracheous kind of flagella. So all are same. Peritracheous means many. Peri means many. So a flagella all over the body or peritracheous flagella kind of things is produced by, sorry, flagella all over, this is called peritracheous, sorry, which is produced by the fungus Irvinia. So the answer is peritracheous, produced by the pathogen is Irvinia. Okay, in Irvinia there is a pathogen called Irvinia stewarti, which is caused by corn, stewart wilt of corn, which contains a single flagellum. Okay, I repeat, flagella all over the body, which means peritracheous, generally produced by Irvinia. All Irvinia species produces peritracheous, multiple number of flagella. But in Irvinia there is a species called Irvinia stewarti or Pantovia stewarti, which produces monotracheous, one flagella. Okay, what is the first plant pathogen parasitic nematode to be discovered? Angina tritici. So discovered by Neither Metal 1743. Okay. Genome of viroid. So far there are 40 types of viroids are discovered. All the viroids contains genome as a single stranded RNA. The next one is what are the list of pathogens that domestic quarantine exists. So there are a couple of pathogens like banana bunchita, potato wart, golden cyst nematode, where all this having a imposition of domestic quarantine because they are endemic in the particular area where they are growing. So it is completely restricted to transport from one area to another area. So this domestic quarantine exists on the pathogen like potato wart, Synghytrum endobioticum, golden cyst nematode. Probably don't I'm not sure. Okay, banana bunchita, which is caused by banana bunchita virus, transmitted by aphid, banana black aphid, Pantalonia nigronervosa. The next one is the etiology of rice bacterial leaf blight. They're asking bacterial leaf blight pathogen. Yeah, etiology means pathogen. Okay. Rice bacterial leaf blight is caused by Xanthomonas varae, Pathovar varae. Leaf streak is caused by Xanthomonas varae, Pathovar varae. The next one is the rice tungro virus is transmitted by 45. Rice tungro virus is transmitted by generally green leaf hopper. There are various species of green leaf hoppers are responsible for the transmission of this, but generally we used to consider one species called Nephotetics virescens or Nephotetics nigropectus. These two species are generally considered. Among the Nephotetics virescens only most widely considered and reported in many instances. So rice tungro virus is transmitted by leaf hopper Nephotetics virescens. Rice grassy stunt virus is transmitted by, they are asking grassy stunt. Okay, grassy stunt virus is transmitted by BPH, brown plant hopper, Neela Parvata lugens, brown plant hopper Nailoporta lugens. Rice dwarf virus is transmitted by, again it is also leaf hopper, Nepotitix nigropictus and Resilia dorsalis. Nepotitix nigropictus, leaf hopper only, okay, Resilia dorsalis. So these are all the diseases, kinds of diseases that is we can see in rice, okay. uh, Two kinds of particles in rice tumor virus. What are the two kinds of particles that we can observe? Rice tumor bacilliform virus, rice tumor spherical form virus. So absence of any one of this, there will be no severity. There must be two in association. That's why this tumor severity will be more. So generally two virus particles will be rice tumor spherical form virus, rice tumor bacilliform virus. The next one 49, the conidial stage of fire blight of apple pathogen completes within. So they're asking days, I think 8 to 10 days. The conidial stage of fire blight of apple Venturiana equalis that completes within 8 to 10 days. Potato leaf roll virus is transmitted by, so leaf roll virus of potato is transmitted by Apis mysis persicae. Tomato spotted wilt, again same. Tomatoes, oh, this is different. Okay. Tomato spotted wilt virus is transmitted by, it starts with the T. T means thrips, like that you can remember. Tomato spotted wilt, TSW, which is transmitted by thrips tabaci. The next one is bacterial soft rot of vegetables is caused by bacterial soft rot of vegetables. We know very well. Bacterial soft rot of carrot or bacterial soft rot of vegetables is caused by Irvinia keratopora subspecies keratopora, which is a bacterial pathogen. Okay, bacterial soft rot of vegetables or bacterial soft rot of carrot, both are caused by carrot, also vegetable, right? Yes. So Irvinia keratopora subspecies keratopora. So it produces an enzyme called pectinolytic enzymes, which actually responsible for the tissue disintegration. Okay, so the measure of strength of binding of epitope to an antibody is generally known as avidity. So avidity means strength of this binding epitope to an antibody. The measure of overall stability to complex between the antibodies, so just the stability between the complex antigen and antibodies are generally known as affinity. Oxathin group of fungicides are effective against, just now we told you the world's first discovered systemic fungicide are oxathin group of fungicide only, carboxyn and oxycarboxyn, which was discovered by Van Schemling and Marshall Kolka, right? They're asking if fungicides are effective against. I told you that oxycarboxyn is effective against rust, carboxyn is effective against smut, so rust and smut diseases. Okay, so the next one is specific fungicide recommended for specific fungicide for recommended for downy mildew diseases. So for downy mildew diseases, we generally recommend metaloxyl, right? All downy mildew diseases we recommend metaloxyl. So the trade name is the Redomil Gold. Redomil Gold around generally, if it is in combination with the mancozeb and metaloxyl, then we can use the trade name Redomil Gold. Generally, the trade name of the Redomil, this metaloxyl is Redomil. Okay, so wheat bunt infected fields produces a fishy odor. Just now in the kernel bunt of wheat we have discussed it, right? So wheat infected bunt infected fields produces a fishy odor due to the production of a chemical called trimethylamine. So Captan is otherwise called as Kittelson killer because it was first discovered by Kittelson in 1952. 2019 the question was asked. They asked a year. So Captan was discovered in the year 1952. Discovered by Kittelson. That's why it's called as Kittelson killer 1952. Okay, here also important. So major gene resistance presents. So major gene resistance generally present. Generally major gene resistance is called as vertical resistance. Minor gene resistance is called as horizontal resistance because the vertical resistance is governed by the presence of major genes or single gene. So that is called a major gene that actually represents, sorry, not represents, it is represent vertical resistance. Next one is spherical plant viruses contains. So generally they are asking generally spherical viruses contains high percentage of nucleic acid and a low percentage of protein coat. I repeat, nucleic acid is a high percentage, protein coat is a low percentage. Generally spherical viruses contains. Elongated viruses contains reverse, low percentage of nucleic acid, high percentage of protein coat. This is elongated viruses. Okay, so trade name of dinocap. So Karathen, the trade name is the dinocap. Mode of transmission of coconut kadan viride. So remember something about virides. All virides contains a single stranded positive single stranded RNA as a genetic material. So far there are 40 viroids have been discovered. All viroids are reported to be transmitted by mechanical transmission. There is no other modes of transmission have discovered in this viroids, but so far only mechanical transmission only discovered. So there are so far 40 viroids have been discovered. Among the 40 viroids, only single positive single stranded DNA and mechanical transmission is reported. Etiology of apple powdery mildew. So the apple powdery mildew etiology means pathogen. They are asking Podospora leukotricha, which is apple powdery mildew is caused by. So bacteria which is used as a genetic engineering, Agrobacterium tumefaciens, we can also call it as farmer's best friend, right? Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Nucleic acid divide of protein code. Divide and absence, okay? Nucleic acid absence of protein code is known as viroid. So virus contains both nucleic acid and protein code, whereas divide of protein code is known as uh, viroid. Okay, first viroid disease to be reported as the world's first viroid disease to be reported is potato spindle tuber viroid, that was reported by Diener and Raymer 1971, right? So first reported viroid in India. In India, tomato bunchitop. In my book it was wrongly mentioned as banana bunchitop. Please make it as right. If somebody having my book, please make it as right. The question number 68 is, it is a tomato bunchitop viroid, not banana bunchitop. Banana bunchitop is actually a virus, okay? Tomato bunchitop viroid is the answer. So the phenomenon of exploiting a mild strains for the protection against severe strains, this is generally called as cross protection. We know very well, right? So the cross protection is originally developed for tobacco mosaic virus by McKinney in 1929, but now we are especially exploiting against this citrus disease virus, because this cross production technique was very famous in citrus disease. I'll tell you what is cross production. Just using the mild strains of plant viruses, like we are giving, however we are taking vaccine like a killed viruses or inactivated viruses to just to make the antibodies produced in the body, so that even though if the real virus will come, the antibodies will fight against, right? So in the meantime we are using the same mild strains of virus to protect against the severe strains of plant viruses. In some cases the maybe the mild strains become severe strains. It's in very rare cases, okay? This phenomenon is generally called as cross protection. Virus which kills bacteria. Virus generally which kills the bacteria is known as bacteriophage. Phage means eater. Bacteriophage means bacterial eater. A virus which kills the bacteria is known as bacteriophage. The bacteria was first discovered by Twart and Herrell in 1915 and 1917. The term bacteriophage was given by Herrell in 1917. I repeat, virus which kill the bacteria is known as bacteriophage. Phage means eater. Bacteriophage means bacterial eater. First discovered by Twart and Herrell. Twart discovered in 1915. Herrell discovered in 1917. Both got credit because at the time there is no technology, sophisticated technology, whatever we have right now, just to disperse the information. They actually worked on different aspects, and they identified separately. And the term bacteriophage was given by Herrell in 1917. That's why they got credit. Twart 15, Herrell 17. A bacteria which infects another gram negative bacteria. So bacteria which infect bacteria, whatever it is, you forget about the gram negative or gram positive, okay? So bacteria that infect another bacteria is known as dello vibrio. So generally gram negative bacteria will be infected, okay? So gram negative bacteria that infect another gram negative bacteria is known as dello vibrio, which was given by Slope 1962, okay? Grape family virus is transmitted by nematode. Grape family virus is transmitted by the nematode Ziphinema index. I think it was the first reported virus that is shown to be transmitted by insect. Hewitt et al. Probably 1958 probably. So I repeat, grape family virus is probably, I'm not sure, probably the first viral report, the virus that reported that through transmitted by insects. Grape family virus Ziphinema index reported by Hewitt et al. 1958 probably. The genus Wolfidium and Physoderma. So these both are the species of fungi, right? So they're belonging to the order Chytridiales. So a couple of members of Chytridiales and Plasmodioporales act as a vector for transmission of plant viral disease, especially belonging to this group Plasmodioporaceae and this Chytridiomycota. The fungi like Syncytium, Olphidium, couple of other fungi like one more thing is there. So they are used to act as a transmitting agent for transmission of viral disease. The next one is Molia disease of wheat and barley is caused by, they are asking caused by Heterodera avine nematode, okay? Example of citrus nematode. Citrus nematode is Tilantulus semipenetrans. In the nematology section we have mentioned the couple of the many important list of nematodes. Okay, so if time permits, please go through that nematology section that we have published in the previous year. So example of nepoviruses, nuclear netu means nuclear tubular viruses. I think actually forgot, I couldn't able to recall it. Please go through. Nuclear polyhedral viruses or tubular viruses, something will be there. Okay, so generally example of nepoviruses are grape fan leaf virus and tobacco ring spot virus. Example of netu viruses are tobacco rattle virus and pea early browning virus generally comes under this netu. Rice cera is caused by zinc deficiency, we know very well. So this was first discovered by YL and P which was caused by zinc deficiency. So application of zinc sulfate can rectify this disorder. Blossom end rot of tomato is caused by, general blossom end rot of tomato is caused by calcium deficiency. Black heart of potato, oxygen deficiency or low oxygen level is generally responsible for. Pahala blight of sugarcane. So now they are asking just nutritional disorders. Okay, so Pahala blight of sugarcane is caused by manganese deficiency. Whiptail of cauliflower, very very important, molybdenum deficiency. Top sickness of tobacco, right? So top sickness of tobacco, boron deficiency. Next one is hen and chicken disease is also boron deficiency. Okay, this is top sickness of tobacco and hen and chicken disease of grapes, both are caused by boron deficiency. Sand run of tobacco is caused by magnesium deficiency, not manganese. Pahala blight is manganese, whiptail is molybdenum. Top sickness and hen and chicken are boron. This is sand run of tobacco is magnesium, not manganese, magnesium. Okay, so citrus exanthema is a copper deficiency. It is also very very important. Silver leaf of tomato, this is generally due to peroxyacyl nitrate. It is an air pollutant. Okay, it is an air pollutant which causes very important. This silver leaf of tomato is caused by peroxyacyl nitrate, pan. Given example of dormant vegetative spore they are asking. So you can take an example of chlamydospore and sclerotium, both are dormant vegetative spores only. Bende yellowin mosaic virus is transmitted by, very important one, white flies. Bende yellowin mosaic virus, white flies. Application of potassium increases 2D. Generally this application of potassium in plants is generally considered 2D. So 2D means D means disease resistance, again D means drought resistance. So drought resistance and disease resistance. Okay, plant viruses moves from cell to cell through plasmodesmata. So plant viruses move from cell to cell through plasmodesmata, because actually this plasmodesmata, imagine this is a plant cell. So the virus is entering into the plant cell, but the thing is the virus is bigger than that of this plasmodesmata, but still the virus is managing to move through, because the virus can produce a protein called movement protein, which actually helps to mediate or go through this plasmodesmata. Plasmodesmata is smaller than that of plant viruses, but still the plant virus is managed to go through by producing a protein called movement protein. This movement protein helps or facilitate the movement through this plasmodesmata. So the answer is movement of cell to cell through plasmodesmata. It's a very important one. A genome of cauliflower mosaic virus, double-stranded DNA. So double-stranded DNA. Which fungal division is suitable for the following names? Asexual fruiting body, imperfect fungi, dustbin fungi, and fungi imperfecti. Generally Deuteromycota group of fungi, these all terminologies are related, because Deuteromycota means fungi imperfecti, dustbin fungi, because there is no sexual stage, that's why it's called as asexual fungi. Fungi imperfecti, dustbin fungi, or dustbin fungi and fungi imperfect, right? So fungi imperfecti was given by Fackel, C.T. Ingold told this or used this Deuteromycota as the dustbin fungi. Sugarcane ratoon stunting pathogen. So sugarcane ratoon stunting is caused by Lifesonia xylem, subspecies xylem. Previously it is called as Clavibacter xylem, subspecies xylem. This question was asked in 2023 net. Component of chestnut 2:11. So 2 parts of copper sulfate and 11 parts of ammonium carbonate. This is the composition. So composition of Chaubetia paste, 800 grams of copper carbonate, 800 grams of red lead, 1 liter of linolenic oil, 800 1 liter. I repeat, chestnut component 2:11, 2 parts of copper sulfate, 11 parts of ammonium carbonate. Whereas Chaubetia paste composition is 800 grams of copper carbonate, 800 grams of red lead, 1 liter of linseed oil or linolenic oil. Okay. Virus with a split genome. I'm sorry, I couldn't able to recall what is a split genome, but I have studied this somewhere else. It's been years. Just because of net only I'm recalling all those things, otherwise I might have concentrated on somewhere else. But anyway, I will try to comment in the comment section. So split genome was generally observed in a wound tumor virus. The size of the wound tumor virus is 70 nanometer. This genome is also composed of double stranded DNA, I think. So the division belonging to lower fungi. I don't know what is the division belonging to lower fungi. I couldn't find. So just please leave this question. I will see the answer and let you know. The division belonging to lower fungi. Which division? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I will let you know in the comment section. So black spot of rose is caused by the fungal pathogen Diplocarpin rosea. Button-like structure which penetrates and draws the nutrients. Very simple nutrient absorbing organ, Hastoria. So nutrient absorbing organ is Hastoria only, na. All phanerogamous plant parasite produces Hastoria or absorb nutrient through Hastoria. Fungi also can produce some kind of structure to absorb the nutrients. So generally this button-like structure which penetrate and draw the nutrients is Hastoria, nutrient absorbing organ of fungi. Uppersorium means attachment organ of fungi, which helps to attach from uppersorium. Penetration peg go inside. From penetration peg, this Hastoria is developed and it go inside the cells and starts to draw the nutrients that will be required or the energy required for the development of fungi. Okay. So for further more information, students can refer this book, A Vision into Plant Pathology, a complete student version. Further doubts, clarification and guidance, students can reach us at www.geekyresearcher.com. Stay geeky and stay tuned. We are Team Geeky Researcher.